Let us now continue and look at more in this section of Tikiti, which we started from 7440. Panini starts this section from 7440 up to 7447. It's a section of 8 rules. And the sutra we're going to look at now is 7446. Do dad ghoho. Do dad ghoho. The Vritya of the sutram says, Gu sanyakasya da ityasya dat syat tadav kiti. Tadav kiti means that the term dat is substituted in place of the entire verbal root da, which has the gu sanya. Now, what is the gu sanya? Recall a sutram 1:120. Dada gvadap. Dada gvadap. That sutram said that darupa dharupascha dhatavo gu sanyaha syur dap daipau vina. So the verbal roots having the form da or dha, except dap and daip, they get the gu sanya. Gu sanya. So now, by this sutram 7446, the term dat is substituted in place of the entire verbal root da, but it has to have the gu sanya. What does that mean? That these two verbal roots, dap, lavane in the adadiganaha and daip, shodhane in the bhavadiganaha, they are excluded. They are excluded. For those two, this sutram 7446 does not apply. And of course, the condition in this sutram 7446 is that Tadav kiti when followed by an affix which is kit, which has kakara as it and begins with a takaraha. That is the anuvritti coming from 7440, which we already know. Now, why does it replace the entire verbal root? Because remember our set of 4 rules from 1152 to 1155, starting with alontyasya from 1152. The last rule in that section, 1155, it says Anekalshit sarvasya. The adesha, if it's anekal, it has more than one letter. In this case, the adesha is dat. It has a dakaraha, it has a akaraha, it has a thakaraha. It's a anekal adesha. Then sarvasya. The adesha replaces the entire term, which is in the shashti bhakti. In this sutram, do dad ghoho. That do is, when you do padacheda, it is daha. That daha is shashti ekvachanam of da. So that is the sthani, that is the term which is to be replaced is da. Because daha in the sutram is shashti ekvachanam of da. So therefore, the entire sthani da and not just the ending letter is replaced by the adesha, which in this case is dat. Now there is one little complication here, is that why does the adesha become dat? The Padacheda Sutram could be done in 4 ways. The Dad, which we see in the Sutram, could be interpreted as Dat with a Takaraha, or Dat with a Thakaraha, or Dad with a Dakaraha, or Dad with a Dhakaraha. So Prathama Varnaha, Dvitiya Varnaha, Titiya Varnaha, Chaturtha Varnaha at the end, because in every case we would apply Chalam Jashonte and it would become Dad. It becomes Dad. So whether we start with Dat or Dat or Dad or Dad, when we do the Sandhi operation by Jalam Jashonte, which is 8 to 39, we get the form Dad. So we don't know which one it was before the Sandhi operation took place. So now why do we choose to make the Adesha Dat and why not Dat or Dad or Dad? The reason is that there are some complications in those 3 cases. If we take the Adesha as Dat with a Takara at the end, then the complication there is the Sutram 63124, which we have not studied yet, the Sutram Dasti. That may intervene in the sense that it would potentially prescribe a Dirgha Adesha for the Upasargaha ending in a ik letter. So igantasya upasargasya dirghadesha. So that would be a potential problem with 63124 coming into play if we made the adesha as dat with a takara at the end in this sutram 7446. That's a potential complication. So the sutram we have not studied yet, 63124. That's the complication if we take the adesha as a dat ending in a prathama varna takaraha. Now, if we take the adesha as dad, which is the tritiya varnaha, then we already know the sutram 8242, which is Radabhya nishthato naha purvasya cha daha. 8 to 42. 8 to 42. So by that sutram we know that the nishtha takaraha takes a nakara adesha if it follows a verbal root which ends in a repha or a dakaraha. So if the adesha in this sutram were to be dad, then there could potentially be the application of 8 to 42 and the nishtha takaraha would become in nakaraha, which we don't want to happen here. So that's the complication if we take the adesha as dad ending in tritiya varnaha dakaraha. Now what about if we take the adesha as dad in the ending in a chaturtha varnaha dakaraha? In that case also we know the problem there. The problem there would be 8 to 40. Jashas tathor dhodaha. 8 to 40 would potentially apply, and then what would happen is that the following takaraha would become a dhakaraha. So these are the complications that result if we take the adesha as dat. There the complication is 63124, the sutram dasti. And if you take the adesha as a dad ending a tritiya varna dakaraha, then the complication is 8242. Radabhya nishthato naha purvasya chadaha. And if you take the adesha as ending in a dakaraha, then the complication is 8240. So that is why the simplest thing is to do is to take the adesha as a dat ending in a thakaraha. Now the Siddhanta Kaumudi gives arguments where we can remove those complications, but there's no reason to get into that. The simple and the easy way out here is to take the adesh as ending in a thakaraha, ditya varnaha thakaraha. In that case, there is no complication whatsoever. And let's take a quick example here. Let's derive the Pratipadikam datta from the verbal root do dai dane. Do dai dane. This verbal root has the ghusanya by dada ghvadap 120. So now let's add the pratyaya kta by the sutram nishtha 32102, and let's apply it karmani here by 3470. Tayorevar kritya ktak khalarthaha. Remove the letter by rashakvatadhite kakarasit sanyatasya lopaha. And now eka cha upadeshe nudatat stops the ragamaha. So 7 to 10 stops the ragamaha, which would have been done by 7 to 35. And now we do have the dhatu da, which has the gu sanya by 120. And therefore we can apply the sutram 7446 and put a dat adesha in place of the dhatu, in place of the entire angam, in this case the dhatu da, which has the gu sanya. So we get dat, the entire angam is replaced as per anekashi sarvasya 1155, and then applying kharicha, put a takara adesha in place of the thakaraha, so become datta, and of course datta gets the pratipadika sanya by kritadita samasascha. So this is a sutram do dad ghoho, and the simple thing in the sutram is to make the padacheda as dat, that avoids all the complications.